It is amazing, completely amazing. The reason I bring up the 425 thing, it's different for us, obviously.
I like it.
I like it
too.
with
it at all.
But
do you know what I got done yesterday morning?
What time?
Do you know how many things I got done during the day yesterday?
You can do everything. But the other reason, and I woke up in Chicago yesterday.
Really?
I woke up to football on TV.
You make it sound like you were doing something you weren't supposed to be
doing.
No,
I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But it was just crazy. I wake up in a hotel room and there's football already on. It was live. I felt like I was in Australia because you had the
9:30 game. Yeah.
But it was great, though, because it gave me time to watch a little football and get home for the Browns game as well. It was different. I don't know how the ratings will look, but this was a different week for the NFL. I don't know how many people picked up on it playing that morning game. Some people didn't care. Some people went about their mornings the way they always went.
I'll be honest with you, I forgot about it and woke up late. And then I was like, oh, man, they started at 9:30. And then I started thinking about Bubba, who's over there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if they take a charter back. Because that game would have ended at what? That game ended
like 11:30?
12:30
in the morning.
Yeah, 12:30.
I think Bubba, and how long is the flight on a charter? Although he probably had to fly back to Detroit.
He had to fly back with the Fords, I believe.
Yeah, so.
And the NFL is actually in talks.
Basically, yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think
the NFL is in talks to have 5 games in London next year.
Yeah.
Why don't they just.
You know my thing I hate about that? We talk about safety of players, and every time they play a game at Wembley Stadium, the pitch is never good enough for the NFL players. The grass is always terrible. Always terrible.
Just put turf in.
And the fact that it puts the teams at a disadvantage, too. You lose a home game by going there. Whoever's the home team.
Well, the new thing is if you bid for the Super Bowl and get the Super Bowl, you have to be willing to give up a home game, basically.
Well, that's fair. I think that's a fair. Because you're going to make how much more on the Super Bowl than you would on having the home game. For fans, it stinks. Les Levine goes off on it every time we do our show. I mean, it drives him nuts as a season ticket holder and as a season ticket holder.
Imagine being the Browns and they lose a home game. Imagine losing that game yesterday because it's in London.
The hard part about it isn't that it's okay. So you'll pay 1/10 less of what you normally pay for your season tickets, but you still have to pay for the 2 preseason games.
Yeah.
That's the complaint I would have.
And most of our fans, and I think they would agree, they'd rather watch a game in 2-degree weather and snow in December here at home and pay for it than watch their team play at home in London. Our fans wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
I'm sure the Jacksonvilles of the world don't mind it, but I don't think you can do that with the Cleveland Browns.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Steelers. Let's talk to Matt Lodi from SteelersGab.com. Matt, hanging out today. How are you?
Lodi looks as tired as Ben Roethlisberger's arm right now.
Yeah, hey, dude,
I'm exhausted. Yeah, those 425 games, I hate them.
Hey, can they just put those jailbird jerseys away?
I actually like them.
I can't stand. You like those?
I usually don't, but I like them.
It's 2 more years, guys. It's the NFL thing. It's 2 more years, so they'll wear them for 2 more years. But after yesterday, they may wear them for another 30 years after yesterday.
But come on, man, those things are the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
They are ugly, but you know why they sell.
It's money, and I've seen a lot of people in the stands yesterday wearing them, and it's money. So they're definitely going to keep them. I mean, they have to keep them for 2 more years, and it wouldn't surprise me if they keep them longer. They're the throwback uniforms of this organization, so they'll keep them as long as they have to.
Matt, who are the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, honestly, they lose to Tampa Bay, they lose to the Cleveland Browns, and then they go, Indianapolis is playing great football, guys. They shut out the Bengals, they shut out the Ravens, and then they give up 50-plus to the Steelers yesterday. Unbelievable.
Well, I kind of felt like the Steelers caught a perfect storm yesterday. I mean, I knew that the Colts were not as good as they were 2 weeks ago when they shut out the Bengals. I thought the Steelers playing on Monday night, that win over the Texans gave them some confidence. I thought that this matchup kind of helped them out. I think they had a big benefit early in the game when Vontae Davis left the game with an injury. I didn't see 51 points coming by any means, but I thought Ben would have a good day. I thought their skill players, Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, would have a good day. But Andre, to say that this is a team that's going to score 51 points every week is ludicrous. That's obviously not going to happen. But I think after hitting rock bottom in Cleveland 2 weeks ago, they sort of have righted the course, if you will. I mean, they're on pace to win 10 games, and they went from winning 8. If they do that, they have gone from winning 8 games last year to winning 10 this year, which I think 10 games in this division, as I was watching some of the highlights last night, gives you a fighting chance to win the division. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to how they play this week against the Ravens at home on Sunday night, and then how, of course, they play against the Bengals. The thing they have going for them that the Ravens don't is now the Ravens have already lost twice to the Bengals. I think that's going to mean a lot.
Yeah.
Were you concerned yesterday with this deal? Because I was flipping back and forth, and I was watching a little bit of the Steelers game. Yeah, a healthy lead, and then you're up against Andrew Luck. Yeah. And I'm thinking, if you're a Steelers fan, are you worried, like, you go back to the first game of the season against the Browns, where the defense melted down? How concerned were you throughout the second half, and then they were able to pull away?
Well, I mean, Andy, here's the thing. Even though the defense was awful, the Colts never got within a touchdown. It was always like a 11, 12-point game. And really the play that changed the game, oddly enough, and it kind of was a luck play, literally, was when Andrew Luck fell in the end zone and tried to throw the ball, which ended up being intentional grounding, which ended up being a safety. That made it from an 8-point game to a 10-point game, which made it, for sure, a 2-score game. The Steelers really killed themselves. Darius Haywood-Bay fumbled at one point, and they had the ball on the 5-yard line. They could have put the game away early in the fourth quarter, and LeGarrette Blount fumbled. So the Steelers really killed themselves when they had the opportunities to put the game away. I don't want to say I was concerned, but sure. I mean, their defense, at one point it was interesting. They showed Ben Roethlisberger after the Colts drove the ball down the field and got a touchdown to draw it within 8. And you could just see Ben, he was ticked off. And, your offense scores 35 points and you got to score more. That's not good. Their secondary is still very bad. Their push up front was a lot better yesterday. As I tweeted at one point, it looked like that James Harrison found the fountain of youth yesterday. He looked like a different guy yesterday.
He was. He actually helped Andrew Luck up.
And I'll tell you what, Ryan Shazier yesterday made a big impact on that defense. Once they get Jarvis Jones back, I think that defense will be a lot better. But the bottom line is their secondary is still really, really bad. Cortez Allen, who got a huge contract, has been terrible all season long. Ike Taylor, they do miss him, oddly enough, but he may be back, and I think he will be back at some point, kind of like how the Browns fans are counting on Josh Gordon. I think Steeler fans are counting on getting Ike Taylor and Jarvis Jones back, because right now that defense is still a sieve. When you give up, what did they give up? Ended up 34 points yesterday. You're not going to win very many games like that.
No, you're not going to win many games. And you're right, James Harrison is a different guy. I saw him actually help up the quarterback yesterday. I don't know when he started doing that.
Yeah, that's true too, Andre. I mean, but he looked good. I mean, they got a big push up front from him and from some of those other guys. Again, came Haywood. Brett Kiesel played a very good game yesterday. And again, Shazier being back in the lineup, that was big for them. It adds that element of speed that defense hasn't had for a couple of years. Lawrence Timmons played a big game yesterday. They were getting to the quarterback a lot yesterday. And I just think, as I said before, that this is going to be an ongoing process with the defense because they just need to be healthy. And I think as they get healthy, they will look different. But the bottom line is you've got to be better when you get leads. And this team just hasn't shown ability to put teams away unless, like yesterday, they get kind of one of those, fluky things happen. Like, Andrew Luck falls on his keister in the end zone and tries to throw the ball away and ends up getting hit with a safety.
$1 million question, then I'll let you go. Then we'll move on to Tim Couch, and I'll ask him the same question. Ben Roethlisberger, I'll say, I thought he was a Hall of Fame quarterback before 425 yesterday. Does this cement his place in Canton when his career is over?
Absolutely. Well, here's the stat that by all means, when I saw it yesterday, I said it's over. He's a Hall of Famer. He is now the only quarterback in NFL history to have 2 500-yard games. Yeah. I mean, the only one in NFL history. I don't know. And I think he's the only other quarterback in NFL history to have a 500-yard game, 6 touchdowns, and no interceptions is Y.A. Tittle. Wow. So really, I don't know what else. I mean, 2 Super Bowls. His numbers as far as, yardage. He set Steeler records across the board yesterday. I don't know about you guys. I mean, to me, I know you don't like the Steelers, but to me, that's a given. I don't know what else you have to do to get to the Hall of Fame. I think that's a lock after yesterday's win.
All right, tell everybody what's on Steelers Grab and what we have coming up next for the Steelers.
Ravens Sunday night. I mean, This is the third of 3 big games, Andre, as you obviously know, for this organization before they go back on the road, and the schedule actually loosens up a little bit. After this game on Sunday night, they end up playing at Tennessee on a Monday night in a couple of weeks after the bye week. So if they could beat the Ravens and go to 6-3, this team could conceivably win 11 games, which I think as of 2 weeks ago would be absolutely unheard of. If they could find a way to beat their rivals and go to 6-3, I think that this organization will be in real good shape. Getting Ike Taylor back, getting Jarvis Jones back, I think it's just a totally different look to this organization than where it was 2 weeks ago.
For sure. Good stuff, Matt. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt. Talk to you in a bit.
All right, guys. Have a good week.
All right, buddy.
You got a bit. It's funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's part of the game. It's part of the game, man. Sometimes you got to walk.
So how long have we been doing the show, Eric? 2 years now? No, I mean
an
hour and a half. It feels like
it. Pacific time.
You are. Thanks.
Yeah, we've done the show.
2 years? How many shows have we done?
2 years.
You know, when you do an hour and a half every day with no break.
There's no rules.
Like during the radio, man. When you're on the radio, you got that 2-minute break. You can fly to the bathroom, come right back. When you got to go, you got to go. Nature calls. That's all there is to it.
It's all right. I don't think most people even knew, probably.
Well, were we on? Oh, never mind. I'm the only one that knew.
Lodi.
I had to bust myself out there.
Lodi danced for us like it was nobody's business. We got Steelers Gavin 101. Yeah, he took
all right,
care.
throw a flag on me. I got a flag on
him. A flag on him. And he told on himself. Jeez.
All right, thanks.
All right, I just asked Lodi this as you were listening. Big Ben, I know it's not a Steelers show.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Is he a Hall of Famer?
It's hard. Games like yesterday make you say, yeah. Look, I don't think that team is very good.
Neither do I.
And the reason they're winning is because of Ben.
Yeah.
And that's despite having conflicts with his offensive coordinator on top of that.
Right.
So what Roethlisberger has done on the field is pretty amazing, especially for a guy that I don't think a lot of people coming out of college, no one expected any of this stuff.
No, not at all. And I think when you look at it, his overall numbers at the end of his career may not be up there with the Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady's. But if you look at when he came into the league, he was plugged into a team that just ran the football, had him take care of the ball. And as you just said, now he has to carry this team. So I don't think his end result numbers will be up there with the other guys, but 2 Super Bowl wins and 2 games of over 500 yards, I think he's going to go in, guys.
Yeah, let's ask Tim Couch that same question. Tim, is Big Ben a Hall of Famer?
To me, yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys made very, very good points. Watching his evolution as a quarterback through his career, when he first came into the league, he really was just a game manager. You know, they relied on great defense, running the football. Ben didn't really throw the ball, but, 18, 20 times a game, if that, the first couple of years. But he really has become an elite quarterback, and 2 Super Bowl wins. Just what he's been able to do throughout his career, and just the type of leader he is, the toughness that he plays with. The guy's played through some unbelievable injuries. He continues to keep getting up and making plays. I think he has a unique skill set at that position that we really haven't seen out of a lot of guys. His ability to be that size and extend plays and make so many things happen down the field off of broken plays. He's a winner. What else can you say about the guy? He puts up good numbers. He wins football games. He's a tremendous leader. Everything you want in a quarterback. And to me, he's absolutely a Hall of Famer.
Tim, what's your take on the AFC North right now? Because again, the whole division, I think, kind of hung on one game yesterday. Because if Baltimore wins, it's a totally different ball game. So Cincinnati comes in and wins, even with that tie. Man, the North just looks like this right now.
It does.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's wide open. It really is anyone's division at this point. And, Cincinnati, everyone thought they were kind of trending down after their last couple games, and then they bounced back. And, so you never know. And, if the Browns can, get some guys back on the field, obviously getting Josh back here soon and, getting hopefully Jordan Cameron back out on the field after his injury yesterday. You get all their guys back out on the field, they absolutely have a chance. And the division, to me, is wide open. No clear-cut favorite. Who knows what type of team Pittsburgh is? You guys just mentioned that, talking about them, and we've seen both sides of them. They can, who's going to show up week to week. You never know. But, it's wide open right now. I think everyone has a shot, and just see how it plays out over the next few weeks.
Tim, let me make you the offensive coordinator quickly for the Browns. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes. This is just us talking as guys. They're a zone running football team. I know that's their identity in talking about the Browns. I'm not trying to throw that away. But obviously they're having some problems right now with zone blocking. As a quarterback, would you have a problem if Shanahan came in and said, hey, guys, on 3rd and shorts, we're going to go to some man blocking, we're going to double team, come down, kick out with the fullback. Just give it, I'm not saying you lose your identity, but there's nothing wrong with having a little versatility if something's not working, right?
No, you're right. There's no problem in adding some of that stuff in. You would like to think that, you have a lot of veterans on that offensive line that can adjust to those type of things and, play some different type of schemes. But, what I would like to see is, all season long, this team has used the run to set up the pass. I think it's time now to use the pass to set up the run. Come out in this next football game, spread the field a little bit, and just attack people down the field, back them up a little bit, get the defense on their heels. I think it would really help the running game. Right now, it just feels like it's so congested within the box, and so many bodies in there that especially on early downs, come out on first and second down, throw some play action, get the passing game more involved, because the pass can absolutely set up the run and back them up a little bit. And I think that would help a little bit as well. So there's some adjustments they can be made, and I'm sure will be made. I have a lot of faith in this coaching staff. Kyle Shanahan, I think, is a tremendous offensive coordinator. I think he will make the adjustments that we've talked about eventually down the road. And it all depends on personnel. If he feels like they can adjust, to those man blocking schemes like you mentioned, then he will. If they're not capable of that, then I guess you have to stay with what you have. But I really do think they'll come out and be a little bit more aggressive on early downs in the next few games and see if that can spark the running game a little bit.
I like that idea a lot. As a player, do you like 4:25 starts or no?
No, I always like playing at 1 o'clock, either 1 o'clock or a night game. The night game, Sunday night game, like we played Pittsburgh one time on a Sunday night game and had a chance to beat them there, and we did beat them 33-13, I think it was. And, just that type of atmosphere is pretty special, man. When the lights are on and it's a big game and the rest of the league is watching it, that's pretty special. But other than that, I would definitely prefer the 1 o'clock game, just waking up and you got that routine, you get the pregame meal in, you get to the stadium early and, you get out there and play. You kind of, you sit around, and that 4 o'clock game just feels like it takes forever to get there. But, I was one of those guys who certainly like to play a little earlier.
Hey, Tim, last question for you. Nick McDonald at center yesterday, okay? And we've talked, and I think the best conversations I've had over the last 2 weeks about that center-quarterback relationship have come from you, and there's no doubt about it. But, look, when it comes to Nick McDonald, we're talking about next man up, but there's a reality to being hurt, coming back, having a week of practice and a day.
Right.
And people want to, they always want instant success. You're not going to have it when you're replacing Alex Mack.
You're really not. It's such a big injury. It's hard to put into words how much he means to that offensive line and to the whole offensive system, really, and to Brian's comfort level. It just goes all throughout the offense. When you lose a guy like that who, helps with protection calls and, when Brian's changing up protections to pick up a blitz and he's making sure the offensive line understands who's sliding to who and in the run game as well. And, it's just it's such a huge, huge loss and so difficult to replace a guy like that. There are just not many guys of his skill level around, and it's hard to replace him. And I think it's because of the position that he plays. Center. Everyone kind of overlooks that a little bit. Like, you can plug another 300-pound guy in there, and he's going to be able to block somebody or do this or that. He brings so much more. Mac does. We're talking about so much more to the position, not just physically and being able to block, but mentally as well.
Absolutely.
All right, when we come back, grade the team. We'll talk to you in about 20 minutes here.
Okay, sounds good, guys.
5 minutes. 5.